So we're going to talk about a couple of things here. First, a reminder and update about contract ratification. And then we're going to talk about a new model for the summer bonus program when extra shifts are picked up. So where are we with the contract ratification? Last week, the M&A built an extensive document that describes the changes that we're making to the contract. This document, right here, went into the mail towards the end of this past week. So you should be seeing it in your mailbox at the beginning of this coming week. Please don't throw this away or toss it in the corner to be looked at some other time. Take 10 minutes to look over the changes to the contract that were negotiated on your behalf. Some of it will be technical and language changes. Some of it are exciting new additions to our rights here at Mercy, like new bereavement time for aunts, uncles, or cousins, or a new float holiday. Some of it are reworkings of what we currently have with some changes. We were able to keep resiliency days, now to be called personal days, with some guardrails, some limitations to their use. We've talked about the changes to the step scale, so you're already aware that that was coming. Additional steps added, and a compression of the scale going from 15 steps over 35 years to 17 or 18 steps over 20 years. This is very exciting stuff. Read through what you get in the mail, and we think you'll be excited about what is there. We for sure are. We'll be rounding this week to begin discussing all of this with you guys. At the end of the week, we will have a virtual meeting via Teams on Thursday, June 26th from 3 to 6 p.m. On Friday, June 27th from 4 to 8 p.m., we'll have an in-person meeting in the Delicio Conference Center. Please attend one or both of these meetings. We tried to schedule them to fit into and accommodate the various schedules we have going on throughout the hospital. If you can't attend and have questions, please reach out to one of your committee members. Then on Tuesday, July 1st, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., there'll be a vote also in Delicio Center. This is another place where we want significant participation. We'll be there all day collecting ballots. Couple things about voting that you should be aware of. One is there are no absentee ballots allowed unless you are on an actual approved leave of absence. Second, you need to be a member in good standing to be able to vote, and that just means your dues are all paid up. So if you are on a leave of absence and want to vote, reach out and we will figure out what that process is. So to recap, watch your mail, read what we sent you, ask questions if you see us rounding, come to the online discussion via Teams on Thursday, June 26th between 3 and 6, or come to the in-person meeting in Delicio on Friday, June 27th from 4 to 8. Then come out and vote on Tuesday, July 1st from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, let's turn to talk about the summer bonus program. We have wanted this to run from May through the end of summer, but in May, management only wanted to go to the beginning of June, and they didn't want to make any changes. And then in June, they delayed because of the Kronos UKG rollout. Honestly, I know how frustrated I have been with the delays and extensions, and I'm sure that all of you share in that. Our goals for a summer bonus program were simple. Clearly, management has not fixed the staffing issues we face. We are chronically short-staffed, and we need a way to recruit more help. This is true everywhere, but it is especially acute at night at the bedside. So we definitely need a bonus, period. However, it is also summertime, and summer bonuses has to be offered to all nurses in all areas. We keep telling management that all extra time that any nurse picks up should be valued the same. Management was and is resistant to this idea. They want to dole out money incrementally, not across the board. They say that Susan Petterini, our chief nursing officer, has the power to institute spot bonus and double bonus in all areas when needed. However, when we see how this works in practice, no consideration is ever given to any of the outpatient or perioperative areas. Anyway, enough about history and philosophy about bonus. As I said, the M&A demanded that the bonus be across the board in all areas. First, management balked at that because it would run up the costs and bust the budget. We suggested that perhaps they wait and see what things would look like without a bonus. For sure, they came back to the bargaining table, this time with a plan for a house-wide bonus. This was originally meant to run into September. However, because of the changes they made, we need to review both the success of this new plan. Does it get people to actually sign up and work? And they need to see, does the cost of the new plan, what is the cost of the new plan, and does it work within their budget? The cost piece is a real thing. The really good news here is there will be significant pay increases coming once we ratify this contract. Remember to vote Tuesday, July 1st. Get out and vote. That's my spiel. However, these pay and differential increases coupled with an overdue house-wide bonus has management pretty gun-shy. So they're only able to extend for a month to July 21st. At that time, they will evaluate the impact and costs. Hopefully, we will continue through the end of the summer once we get to that July 21st date. Again, we share your frustration at the incremental timeframes. We know staffing is all screwed up. That hasn't changed, and the bonus is needed. Let's do this in bigger chunks of time. It just boggles my mind that they can't see that. Anyway, back to the provisions of this new bonus. And remember that picked up time and picked up shifts are not mandatory. That said, the M&A has entered into a new bonus program for the summer. It will be house-wide at $15 per hour for any extra shift over contract. The CNO Susan continues to have the ability to offer double bonus in areas where the need has not been filled. We know that this is a significant reduction in dollar amount. Management's rationale is that with contracted wages going up significantly and the bonus being offered house-wide, they need to control costs. We said to them repeatedly that we don't feel our members would be enthusiastic, if not outright pissed off and insulted with that amount. That during the summer primetime period, that would not be enough to give an incentive to get people to work extra. They certainly heard us, and yet the $15 per hour mark is where they stood. And, as usual, they wanted more. Management expressed frustration with the number of canceled picked-up shifts there have been. Now, it has always been our right to cancel a picked-up shift, and this is because the hospital has the same ability to cancel us. But according to management, the cancellation rate is significantly high, and that ties up and impacts staffing, leaving those working shorthanded. Again, we hear you and tell management at every meeting that the solution to this manufactured problem of calling out is to improve working conditions, number of ancillary staff at the bedside, and on and on. But we know management doesn't do these things, which is why we've had to run continuous bonus for years on end now. It's all very frustrating. Management insists, despite our vigorous objections, that these new provisions be made as part of our agreement. So hold on to your hats. If you are per diem, qualifying shifts need to be in the standard 8, 10, or 12 increment shift allotments. A single 4-hour shift does not count towards bonus. You have to work 2 4-hour shifts to count as one bonusable shift. If you work an extra shift, you need to work every regular shift in that pay period in order to qualify bonus. Yeah, we don't like that either. And in addition to that, if you cancel a picked up shift less than 48 hours prior to that shift, they will count that cancellation as a call out. If you are under your mass 40-hour sick, the call out will be deducted from those available hours without PTO being paid, of course. And if you are beyond your mass 40-hour sick, it will be counted as an occurrence. This is a radical change. This is something that we did not agree to lightly. This comes down to guiding principles. We believe that extra time worked should be rewarded across the board to anyone working above their contract. We also strongly believe that If they can cancel a picked up day for us, then we should be able to cancel that shift as well. We also want to see units staffed when people commit to working extra. So we agreed to try this out for a month to see what our members do. So the question lies with you guys. Is the $15 an hour enough to incentivize you to work extra? Is the risk of getting sick next week and losing the bonus that you earned this week a game you're not interested in playing? Are you willing to risk an attendance occurrence by booking a shift weeks in advance for that $15 an hour? These are all questions management is forcing us to ask ourselves. Could this solve attendance issues and improve staffing? Yeah, I guess it might. Could this be something that doesn't work and doesn't get staff in the door and staffing suffers? That's possible too. I know what I think will be the result. So, we have a bunch of decisions in front of us regarding the contract. Read the mailing. Come to the sessions online this Thursday from 3 to 6 and or in Delicio Center this Friday in person from 4 to 8. Please come out to vote on Tuesday, July 1st from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. As for picking up shifts, going forward to July 21st, $15 an hour, $15 an hour house-wide. If you have to work all shifts, let me say that again. $15 an hour house-wide. If you have to work all shifts in a pay period, and if you cancel a picked up shift, you must cancel 48 hours in advance or it will be counted as attendance. You get to vote in this as well. Picking up extra is not mandatory. As always, remember, we are stronger together. Thank you, guys.